Hello home bakers and welcome to Dr. Mommy Cakes channel. I create tutorials especially for you to teach home bakers and cake making beginners how to make delicious cake. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this super yummy buttermilk cake. It's absolutely delicious and it's nice, soft and fluffy. It's also a great cake for sculpting and for making tall cakes. These are the ingredients that you need for this recipe: plain flour, granulated sugar, butter which is at room temperature, buttermilk, baking powder, vanilla bean extract or vanilla paste, and eggs. First, you want to sieve your dry ingredients into one bowl. So measure up your plain flour, sieve it nicely into the bowl. Sieving helps to aerate your flour and makes for yummy cakes. Add the baking powder. Make sure when you're measuring, you use a level teaspoon. So what I like to do is use the back of a knife and scrape that, and this is what a level spoon is. Add the baking powder with the flour. You can put it directly in the bowl, or since you've already got your sieve, just sieve it a little bit. Next, measure up your salt and add to your mixture. Once you've combined all these dry ingredients, use a hand whisk and just whisk gently to make sure everything is nicely incorporated. Now we're going to move on to creaming the butter and sugar mixture. So weigh up your butter and your sugar into your mixer bowl and mix on high speed for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. If you're using a hand mixer, you might need to mix for a little bit longer. Creaming is an essential step in making this cake. By creaming your butter and sugar, you create a mixture that will be nice and fluffy. Don't forget intermittently to stop and scrape the bowl so that everything gets well nicely mixed up. You'll find that if you don't scrape the bowl, the bottom of the bowl and the sides of the bowl will not be nicely creamed, and this will affect the texture of your mixture. Another key important thing is to make sure that you use butter that's at room temperature. If you want to know more about dairy products that we use in baking, I would really recommend that you watch my Baking 101 series, especially the one on butter and dairy, and I'll explain to you all the key things that you need to know about your ingredients to make cake. So once you scrape the bowl, go back on high speed and you want to mix until your mixture is very nicely combined. It should look like this at this stage. And then you're going to add your eggs. I would recommend adding your eggs one at a time and then mixing for about 30 seconds to make sure the first egg has been incorporated before adding the rest of the eggs one at a time. Once all the eggs have been in, whisk on high speed for about 1 to 2 minutes so that you have a mixture that looks like this. And again, making sure that you scrape the bowl nicely to make sure everything is nicely combined. And this is what your mixture should look like at this stage. And this is the building blocks, the foundation for this delicious, light, fluffy sponge cake. I hope that you're enjoying this tutorial. If you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button now. Add in your vanilla. You can use vanilla extract or vanilla paste. If you don't know the difference, you should watch my Baking 101 tutorial where I teach you all about the different flavorings used in baking. Once you've added the vanilla, mix for about 20 to 30 seconds, just long enough for the vanilla to be incorporated into the mixture. So you're starting to see how the batter is looking now, and this is the consistency that you want to be aiming for. Next, we're going to add the flour to the butter. You're going to be adding it in batches. So pour in half of the flour into your batter. And then you want to mix on low speed until it's just combined. So on low speed, and then add in your buttercream into the mixture. And you can see all the flour has been incorporated, and then you stop at this stage, adding the rest of your flour, and then mix until just combined. And literally this is like 5 to 10 seconds. It's absolutely important that you do not overmix your batter once you've added the flour. So as you can see, I can't see any more of the flour, so I stop. And what I like to do is switch to using a spatula to mix the batter by hand. That way, there's a reduced risk of me overmixing my batter. And it also gives me a chance to make sure that I've scraped the edges of the bowl and that everything is nicely mixed up. So gently just mix by going around the bowl like this, and again just folding everything in. You just want to do this until there are no lumps and you can't see any flour. So at the start, I've already prepared my cake tins. In this video, I'm using pre-made cake tin liners, but if you don't know how to line a cake, check out my tutorial on how to line your cake so that your cake comes out easily in one go. The link is at the top of your screen or in the description box. One great tip for making cake layers that are the same size is to weigh up the amount of batter that you're putting in the cake pan. So if you make sure that you're putting roughly the same amount, then you'll make cake that are the same thickness, and that would look great for layered cake. And that is a pro tip that you'll only learn from Dr. Mummy Cakes. If you haven't subscribed, you're missing out big time. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe now. Thank you. I also like to give my cake tins a little tap, and this gets rid of air bubbles and helps the cake rise evenly. So that's another top tip which I give on all my Dr. Mummy Cakes tutorials. So that's another reason why you should subscribe, so that you can start making cakes at home with tips from pros. And here is our finished cake. Look at that golden top, nice and flat, and that's because I've baked at a nice temperature using an oven thermometer to make sure that my oven temperature is consistent. And I leave it in the cake tin for about a minute, and then I take it out. So this buttermilk cake is really nice and soft because of the addition of buttermilk. But unlike my vanilla sponge cake, it has more structure and it's a bit firmer. So this cake is great if you're covering your cake with fondant, as it will withstand the weight of the fondant and other fondant decorations. So this is my go-to cake when I want to cover with fondant, or if I want to carve or make structured cake. So you have the structure, but you also have a cake that is super soft and moist. And later on, I will show you the inside of the cake and how soft it looks, even after decorating it with fondant. So this is a cake that's great and easy to make for cake beginners, and it tastes amazing, and all your family and friends will love this. So I hope that you'll make this at home. Don't forget to have a look at all my other easy cake recipes. I will put a link of these in the description box, and you really should watch these so that you'll have a number of different cakes that you know how to make, and that gives you variety in your baking. So here is a cake that I've just quickly covered in fondant, and I'm just going to cut into it so that you can see how it looks once the cake has cooled down. There you see how nice and crumbly and soft that looks. And that's our cake. Absolutely still moist. still so delicious. Honestly, you really have to try this at home. It is absolutely delicious. Look at that. You can see it has a nice texture. It's nice and soft and yeah, it's absolutely yummy. So this is a cake that I really think that you need to make. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, and when you subscribe, click the notification button so that you'll know as soon as I post a new video. I post a new video every Wednesday. Stick with me and I'll teach you how to make and decorate amazing and fabulous cakes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.